chance to hear it, so let her tell it. People on the streets say Sabrina speaks. Tune into the show, she will let you know. Tell all your friends and family. Real talk is no joke. You get the news straight up from grassroots and concerns. You hear some people gone. So tell all your friends to tune in to
Good evening, Cayman. I'm Sabrina Turner, and welcome to Sabrina Speaks, your daily dose of clarity, truth, and community insights. Every weekday from 5 to 6:30 p.m., we're tackling the issues that affect you, from national headlines to grassroots concerns. Whether you're in traffic or winding down your day, this is your chance to hear it straight and speak your truth. So buckle up, Cayman. We're not holding back.
This is the show. We gotta let you know. Now we got to go.
And now here's Sabrina.
Well, good afternoon, Cayman Islands. Yes, and good morning to our global family. Yes, good morning, good night. Welcome to another episode of Sabrina Speaks. Voices of the Islands, conversations for the world, and the podcast where voices rise, stories unfold, and inspiration takes center stage. I'm your host, Sabrina, and it is a pleasure to be with you. You got to stay with me today, and if you haven't already done, just pick up your phone, text, call, whatever you got to do, and call your friends and family to tell them we're live. Yeah, I've just posted all of the links so that no one misses an episode, because later in the show, I'll be joined live with an exclusive conversation with Tedrick Green. Yes, he's back. Let me get my Instagram people coming up. The visionary behind Ted Green Fragrances. You can see I got them big up here on the table. He's going to tell us more as he unveils his latest masterpiece, including background for those of you who are just discovering his line of fragrances. You can hear more about the mysterious ghost orchid and the radiant She Blooms, which is my personal favorite. But yeah, he is going to be on with us this afternoon. And I'm wondering how your Thursday's been going. Are you guys excited? Hold on, let me just get my people up here for this is the Instagram. There we go. Let's put up that link, paste that bad boy there. Good to go. So the Instagram peeps are not left out. Yeah, so we're going to hear more from him about that and learn, go behind the scents, hear about Caribbean luxury redefined. The holidays are here. And yeah, we could have a few surprises. I promised you that yesterday, right? Yeah, surprises await you on this Thursday. But the content you're about to hear, including any discussions or opinions from myself, guests, and or participants, is intended solely for general informational and entertainment purposes. It's not a substitute for professional legal, medical, or financial advice. I encourage you to consult with a qualified professional for specific concerns. Bridge Media Limited and all its affiliates disclaims all liability for any discussions or actions taken in reliance on the information presented. Don't forget to follow, like, share, and subscribe so that you don't miss an episode. And thank you to all of my new followers and subscribers. I see you and you are greatly appreciated. Yep. But it's Thursday. And what's going on with the weather? I thank you for your feedback because people is actually liking this. Let's get straight into it. The synopsis calls for light to moderate winds along with moderate seas are expected for today and over the Cayman area in association with a high pressure system over the Western Atlantic Ocean. Now, radar imagery shows isolated showers in and around the Cayman area that's moving towards the west. Tonight calls for partly cloudy skies with 30% chance of showers. Temperatures will fall to the upper 70s degrees Fahrenheit. Winds will be east to northeast at 5 to 10 knots. For all of my boaters out there, the seas will be light to moderate with wave heights of 2 to 4 feet. Now, the tides for today. Low tide was at 4:15 with a high tide expected at 9:28 this evening. Tomorrow calls for a low tide at 4:08 a.m. and a high tide at 11:08 in the morning. Sunset will be at 5:48 p.m. today and sunrise tomorrow at 6:30 a.m. Now, the outlook calls for light to moderate winds and seas tomorrow, along with a few afternoon showers through Saturday evening. We know that it's a long weekend coming up. I don't know if you are actually feeling the vibe of a long weekend. It feels like it's been a long time, hasn't it? Yeah. But I am definitely feeling it. And I hope you're looking forward to this long weekend. It is Remembrance Day weekend here in the Cayman Islands. It's a national public holiday. There's lots going on. We kick off even Pirates Week and all that good stuff. So if you're feeling it, for me personally, it feels like it is the official kickoff for the holidays, for the holiday season, with Pirates Week, Remembrance Day, and all of that sort of stuff. And don't forget, tomorrow, where's that image I got? Tomorrow, in recognition of Remembrance Day, you are encouraged to wear red. Yeah, let's go and support our veterans for what they are doing. And tomorrow is the call for that. So just like how you would dress down, you dress in red. And Remembrance Day. And then their Remembrance Day Sunday parade ceremony is on Sunday. There we go. At 10:45 Inner Capitol at Emsley Memorial. So that is going to take place. But tomorrow you dress in red. Yeah, that's what you do to show your appreciation and do what we can do. Now, also, it is that time of the year where we look at lobster and conch season. Yeah, it's now officially open. Conch whelk season is now open, and that started from the 1st to April 30th of next year. But do you know the rules? Yeah, we won't have them in abundance, as we know this is the time of the year that it's tradition for us. Pirates Week celebrations are kicking off this weekend, and we see what's going on there with all of that. But we won't have our whelks and conch and that sort of stuff in abundance if you don't follow the rules. So marine park boundaries remain in force at all times. No stockpiling is they're telling you that. And there's a maximum of 5 conchs per person or 10 per boat. Maximum 2.5 gallons of whelks in shell or 2.5 pounds shelled. Now, persons are encouraged to report suspicious behavior to the Department of Environment Conservation officers via a WhatsApp message, and that is on 345-916-4271, or you can call 911 for emergencies. So when everyone respects the rules, you know how that goes. Everyone can continue to fish for generations to come. So let's not overfish. Let's take within the limits so that we can continue to enjoy the abundance of what Mother Nature actually is providing for us. And another thing popped up when I was, look at this. This was interesting. I saw this when I was this evening. This is happening out there in East End. Ocean Frontiers Limited in East End this evening is hosting a free evening film under the stars, showcasing tagged and tracked shark diaries right here in the Cayman Islands. Yes, that's taking place at 6:30 to 7:30 this evening. And the film actually starts at 6:45. So that's over there in East End, over at Frontiers, Ocean Frontiers parking lot. And there will also be a question and answer segment for those who want to ask more questions about the tagging and how you track and explores the whole incredible world of Cayman shark conservation team here in the Cayman Islands. And it also features the Department of Environment researchers. That's Dr. Joanna Kohler and Timothy Austin and Ann Veeder, who will be there as well. Now, there will be some light refreshments. You can grab some drinks and snack, thanks to the compliments of Eagle Rays before taking the seat. So you want to be early. Remember, this is outdoor, so take something to snuggle up. Yeah, I love those evenings. I do. I really do. I do have that soft side. But yeah, that's all of the happenings here. And like we said, there's your calendar for Pirates Week. Marshall, you missing this one? Oh, yeah. You're missing this one, Marshall. I see you. So it all kicks off. Pirates kickoff party is at Peppers tonight. Yeah. One of my favorite hangouts as well. Another one of my top spots. So they're going to do their kickoff party from 7 until 9 this evening. And there's a Mickey Mouse tournament that kicks off at 6 o'clock to 9. That's a fishing tournament for all you boaters out there. So it's good that I actually provide you guys with this information about our weather, because then you know exactly what's happening on our seas. But lots going on. Kudos to us for having a very, very busy weekend, and that is ahead. So yeah, there you have it on this Thankful Thursday. And remember this, even when you're down and out, please, always remember you're amazing and strong and wonderful. No matter what anybody says, put your headspace right there. Not only on Thursday, but all the time. You're amazing, you're strong, and you're wonderful. If you think that way about yourself, all the negative, all the haters, just bounce them off. Yeah. That's how it goes. Birthday shout outs time. Yes, huge happy birthday shout outs to Paul Alberga. Paul, my friend, he's celebrating a birthday, but guess what? He's not even here. Paul is actually helping out in Jamaica as they recover. Yeah, he's out there. He's over in Jamaica on his birthday, helping out. And we want to wish him a big happy birthday. Shout outs to Paul and Josephine Medina, class of 1990. Yep. Happy birthday to you as well. I see you popping up all over social media. So birthday shout outs to you. I know there's a number of you that are coming up. Yes, Connie Bonnie and some other people that I've got an idea on those dates. Even if it's during the weekend, we'll recognize you tomorrow as we build for this long weekend. That is so I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to it, to be honest with you. Looking forward for the weekend. So happy birthday. Shout outs to everyone celebrating a birthday today. And for all of those that may have missed, Rochelle, is she late this evening? She normally have the roll call for birthday. Let's see. She will probably show up in not too long from now. But yeah, Marshall, it's good to have you with us this evening as usual. Always a pleasure to have you logged in, Marshall. Good evening, Connie Bonnie. How are you? How's your Thursday going? Are you excited for the long weekend? And what plans do you have? You going to shake a leg, or you're staying in? You're going to keep it, just subtle because of everything that's going on. But yeah. Jasara, good evening to you as well, my love. Good evening, Damian Henry. Barbara G, as well to you. That's all right. Better late than never. The good thing about these podcast, Barbs, is that you can scroll back. Continue on where you pick us up. And then if it's anything, scroll back. You'll eventually catch up. Yeah, it is good to have you always here with us. I told you she would be calling. Oh, yeah. Good evening, our birthday segment host.
It's bad news, Sabrina. My nephew just got killed in Tampa. I can't believe it. Oh my God.
Oh no.
My sister's son just got killed. I had a collision and he died.
Oh my goodness, Miss Shelma.
Poor old Pierre. she got a problem. My other sisters every problem how to bear her too. Because she was stated on how to get her hospital. Oh my God.
Oh.
And they tell me that when I saw my sister calling me because she asked Joita, she had told me, but Joita tell her, they didn't tell me yet. And then when I saw Gayla calling, well, I didn't think because I was getting some stuff to care for her. And when she asked me if Joita called me, Joita was calling the same time. And that's the news that they're going to hit us with. Poor old dear. I can imagine his 3 sons.
Oh,
He got 3 sons, and he got wife, and then he got 19-year-old son. His youngest
oh my
is
goodness.
Jaden Joran and Brennan. Oh my God. Everybody's in a pro. Can't believe it, both years.
My sincere condolences to you and the family. Sorry for that, Michelle.
I learned Joita has your book. She going to get his sister because they said she could, the co-workers had to call somebody for her because she don't stay at her office because she worked in some office. I don't remember where she worked. They say that they went to the house. We don't know all the details, but they said it was they went to the house and tell his family that it was head-on collision and he died instant. He never made it. I said, oh my God, here again, poor old Pierre.
Oh my gosh. Well, we got, our thoughts and prayers are with you, and we got love just being shared here for you, Miss Shelma.
Mom, oh my God, I love that, and I didn't want to go for this. Oh my God.
Yeah, because you're going away in the next couple of days, aren't you?
The creditor, but I'm going to have to go before.
Yeah.
And luckily I get stuff today. They put in the recent waiver thing, waiver today, and I get it right back. So they say, senior citizen, you can put it in the morning, and somebody put it in, and I get it back when something they brought it to me. So, and I done got a flight book. Only thing I don't have Cayman Airways was where that now being is something like this.
Well, under the circumstances, there's a bereavement rate. Sometimes it all depends on what class it was bought in, but under the circumstances, you can go and speak to Cayman Airways. Yeah. Yeah, but let's see what they can do to help you to where the fees are concerned.
Because we don't know details yet, but my sister says she don't have, they can keep him till that long or whatever. I don't know, because it just not long happen, I guess. We get more details, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody's upset and so shaken. Jesus, I can't believe this. Oh my God, it's the worst thing I hear.
Yeah, Miss Connie is saying sorry to hear, Miss Shelma. Or
oh my God,
we share. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I got to try, but I was just going to drink my pressure pills. I got to try drink them now.
You need to now. Yes, you do.
All right, okay.
All right.
I just, I want to drink them. I can't drink them on the stomach because there's other things to take into.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Mm-hmm.
All right, later.
All right. Oh, my goodness.
Okay, bye.
Yes. Oof. There you have it. We just want to be very close with Miss Shelma. That is something to actually just try to digest. Getting calls like that from your loved ones overseas, quite similar to everything else that is happening in the region. But I want to just let you know, Miss Shelma, that all of us here, all your friends and family here on the CMR TV platform, .com platform, and definitely on the Sabrina Speaks, we actually send you lots of love, and for the entire family, our deepest condolences as you all navigate this time. Oh, no one wants to receive any news like that. By extension to the entire family, it is just, yeah. Barbara G, yes, shares her deepest condolences as well. We just have to keep the entire family in our thoughts and prayers at this time as they go through that. And I meant to even say this as a gentle reminder in this space. We know our own, we lost our own customs officer. There is a church service that's going to be held in honor of this praise. There's a praise and worship service in celebration of the life of Pastor Clayman Bobo Grant. That's happening this Sunday as well. At 6:30, that's at the Countryside Church over there in John McLean Drive in the East End. We know that he left us. He left us a few days ago, and they're going to Europe. The public is invited to a praise and worship service in his honor as he celebrate his life. So that happens this Sunday from 6:30 in the evening. Mm-hmm. Oh, wow. There you go. In this space, we all become one, to be honest. And when something like that hits you, it really hits hard. So, oh, good evening, Miss Lucille. Yes, thank you and all of the UK family. I'm quite sure you must have heard what has happened to Michelma, your dear friend. You guys keep in contact a lot. So uh, we can only send our love and extension of positive thoughts for Miss Michelma and her family during this time. Let's bring it back as best as we can to home. But if you're just joining us, welcome to this episode of Sabrina Speak. We are going to be putting the spotlight and having on our show this evening Mr. Tedrick Green, who is the visionary behind Ted Green Fragrance, as he launches his newest line, and he's going to be telling us more about that this evening. So we know that earlier on today as well, that our parliament convened and Minister Ralston Anglin delivered the 2026-2027 budget in Parliament. And he outlined how government will collect and spend some of this $2.5 billion over the next 2 years. And, when he presented the National Coalition for Cayman's first budget to Parliament, this budget, ladies and gentlemen, will actually go in effect as of the 1st of January. Now, he set out the historical large spending plan, which includes revenue collections over $1.26 billion in 2026 and $1.32 billion in 2027, fueled by a growing economy, but also new revenue measures that are expected to yield more than $72.5 million next year and almost $100 million in revenue in 2027. Now, there's more about this, and there's a link that if you missed it earlier on today, it ended early because now they're going to give, in accordance to standing order, 5 days for the opposition now to be able to see this this budget. Because even though everyone showed up at Parliament today, the opposition did not have first hand of what this budget looked like. So for them to be able to do their role as opposition, they're given 5 days in order to deliberate over it, form their questions, how they're going to debate as an opposition. And that now they will convene on Tuesday morning at 10 o'clock. Again, it's a long weekend here, so we can understand why. So the House will convene on Tuesday morning at 10 o'clock, and that can be streamed live on the government YouTube and Facebook and Instagram channels as well. So yeah, so that's what it is. Those numbers are huge, but let's see. Let's not jump to any conclusions, because remember, I told you to tune in and you will hear whether or not it is people-centered and where do you fit in? Because this is the budget now that, remember with the strategic policy statement, that's how they're going to fund it. But you also know how we're going to be making the monies in order to pay for all of that. So it's very important that we actually follow suit and just look at how this is going to go down. And let's hopefully that we will actually get a balanced budget. Now, they said that with everything that's going on, they are still in compliance with the rules that governs us for how we can actually do these spendings and borrowings and so forth, meaning we won't get in trouble with the United Kingdom in a sense where you have to get permission to do certain spending and that sort of stuff. Everything with the numbers forecasted, even all of that information that is given to all the monies that are even given for healthcare and education and all that sort of stuff, all of that is now fall within the parameters of how our government can operate pretty much independently, because they're not in breach of any of the regulations for how budgets are being done. So that's kudos to them for that. They just now need to get it passed on the floor of Parliament, because this is where the opposition have a chance to ask their questions, to weigh in on it, even though the government has more numbers. But it's democracy, and they have an opportunity to weigh in on it, to speak on the behalf of their people. Yes. So, Miss Lucille, my deepest condolences to Miss Shelma. So sad. When it's not one thing, it's the other, Miss Shelma. I have you in my prayers to talk to you later. There you go. So, yeah, we're just waiting for our guests to join us and everything that is happening there with what's happening around us as well. So we want to make sure now that we go into this weekend safely. Remember, we're going to have our police officers out on the roads who are making sure that our roads remain safe. And I've put up the first couple of days here on the calendar, and the district days are back, guys. So let me share that with you as well. I think I found it here. Let's see what we have. Yes, so the 10th is Northside District Heritage Day, Old Man Bay Dock. The 11th is West Bay at the Heritage Park. November 12th is Bodden Town. That is at Nurse Josie's Center. November 13th is Georgetown, Cardinal Avenue. And November 14th, 11 until that's East End at the East End Heritage Park. Now we know that over in the Sister Islands, that will be on the 20th in Little Cayman. That will be from 5 p.m. at Pirates Landing via Cayman Airways. And that's sponsored by Cayman Airways. That's when they start to convene in Little Cayman. From 6 to 10 is the bar crawl. And 10 until the after party. That's all happening there on the 20th. And on the 21st, they're going to have food and artisans village at Blossom Village. There's also going to be a float parade in Little Cayman. And the Pirates, they're going to also have a costume competition from 7 until 8. And they're having fireworks as well in Little Cayman. So a good lineup there for Little Cayman. And Kimmenbrack, then, that's on the 22nd of November. There's a family fun day planned. There's also going to be a drone show on the 22nd at 7 p.m. And then there's an after party at Scott's Dock at 7:30 on the 22nd. So it looks to me that they're not going to have separate landings. I get that the Little Cayman and Kimmenbrack is going to be joined in as one. So it starts off on the 20th to the 22nd, and it starts off in Little Cayman and ends in Kimmenbrack on the 22nd. So that's all your happenings, but you can go on to the social media pages, the government, and you can see all of the happenings that are happening there for this event. And remember, like I said, in recognition of Remembrance Day, tomorrow is Dress Down Friday. Wear red to support our veterans. Show that you care, show that they matter. And yeah, there we go. Wait, let me send this. Yeah. So there you have it. 936-8255 is the number to call in to join in on the conversation if you so desire. And let us know how you're preparing for the long weekend. It'll be interesting to see how this weekend unfolds, and definitely for everything that's going on around us. We're keeping tabs on even what's all the happenings in our region as well. And our thoughts still go out to those who are picking up the pieces of their lives between Jamaica, Cuba, even in the Philippines. We're seeing some images that are coming out of the Philippines. It's just, that's heartbreaking as well. So we have to be so thankful for everything that we have, but don't forget those who may have been seriously impacted by weather, and take it from there. Also making headlines on the CMR page is we got to take a look at the University College of Cayman Islands celebrates the 12th annual capping and pinning ceremony on October 9th at the Sir Vassal Johnson Hall, recognizing nursing students for key academic and clinical achievements. Yes, that's taking place on the 9th. So anybody who's there, and I remember some of these faces, I see them here as they went through the whole shebang there. Good for you. Congratulations to you in that. I know exactly what that feels like. And we also see other news making the headlines where dozens of companies under investigation and crackdown on a work permit fraud. So yeah, our enforcement teams are out in their numbers and they are looking at this. They're saying that more than 50 companies are reported flagged for violations as Department of Workforce Opportunities, Residency Cayman, SWORC, intensifies investigations into fraudulent work permit operations. So there you go. The operational arm of government is operating and they are definitely bringing it home. So yeah, let's hope that they will nab some of these unscrupulous employers in robbing people out of their livelihoods, coming here to make a better life. And that's what you do. And that makes a difference, in all honesty, in the representation and the reflection of any sitting administration, the pace and all of that sort of stuff of the enforcement arm of any government department. It makes a big difference day and night, but you got to fund them. You got to fund them. You got to support them. You got to make sure you give them the training, and everybody then wins. There's a win for everybody. You got to fund them, and you got to make sure that they have the requisite tools and attract the skill sets, or be able to be exposed to the skill sets in order for them to be the gatekeepers of our legislation. So it is what it is. And let's add you in here. Oops, I see you. There you go. Coming to you in a second. Yeah, so we are pleased to be here. And again, we're celebrating our very own. Yes. So if you're just joining us, welcome to this very special Thursday edition of The Essence of Caribbean Luxury. And I am excited. Are you ready? Just give me a thumbs up. I am excited. Once you are, just give me a thumbs up. I'm excited to have us in our virtual studio be joined to talk about this new adventure, the visionary, the magic behind our very own Caymanian national young man who's broken glass ceilings, who are shattering it literally. And this is by no means exaggeration. Speaking to him on a one-on-one is just so, you want to know more, you want to hear more, but I smell it. It's in his products. You just want to hear how he's done this. And for anyone who's never heard about Ted Green, you're going to hear about him today. Ted Green Fragrances, because he's with us. He's the founder of Ted Green Fragrances. And without further ado, it is a pleasure for me to bring him in studio with us today to hear more about exactly what's been going on since we last spoke to him. Good evening, Ted. How are you? Welcome.
Good evening, Miss Ab. I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I am fair to fine. I know you must be busy, but I would say we're overdue, but I'll take that back because we got to give you time. You're constantly on the roll. You're traveling all over the place, and you're constantly evolving, and that's what I love about you. But we need an update from you. Since we last spoke, it was all about She Blooms. And oh my gosh, I'm still blooming. I'm sorry. I'm still blooming. But you kind of knocked me off my feet with what you're about to launch or is ready to launch right now. Tell us fill us in. What has happened since? Yeah. Fill us in what's been going on since we last spoke.
Well, just first of all, thank you for having me back.
Sure.
Last show was awesome, and hoping to have another segment here with you today.
Yeah.
What's gone on since last show? I guess a lot. We're emerging. We're a company. We're blooming ourselves, and so there's like little minute things that happen every single day.
Uh-huh.
Big picture, I'm now on the road all the time, and so unfortunately, I spend a lot less time here in Cayman. I am here today, thank God.
Yeah.
Um,
I
but
was
I'm on
excited
the
when I heard you would be in town.
and you took full advantage right away.
Oh
That
yeah,
quickness, right?
you wasn't gonna get away.
No. And so I've been on the road a lot, but I mean now as a founder, as a fragrance designer, as a fragrance house, it's
Mhm.
interesting because we're being pulled into the international arena. And so I've been on the road meeting all the movers and shakers of the industry. I've been asked to speak at industry events, in
Nice.
particular around like inclusion in fragrance, which is its own topic, especially given the current global climate.
Right.
Um, but it feels really, really good because, I don't know if I am the first, but it certainly feels that way. And from all the recognition that I'm getting along the way, it really feels like it's the first time that we've had a person from the Caribbean of native descent,
Mm-hmm.
who grew up here, launching their own brand, out here representing for us. And so, um, it's just been really, really awesome. Now, we're on the precipice of launching our newest creation.
Ah.
And
Oh yeah.
so as a Caymanian, I've taken a lot of pride in putting our culture on center stage by way of fragrance.
Mm-hmm.
And as the company grew and we kind of started to gain a regional presence, it became very, very clear that our brothers and sisters across the region suffered from the same thing that we suffered from, which is kind of
Mm-hmm.
why I started. And so it was really to take this kind of cliche, lesser than attitude out of products that were produced by people who are of the soil.
Mm-hmm.
And so, having launched in Jamaica last year and having taken the show on the road, I keep hearing like, oh my God, we wish we had something like this. And so our next fragrance actually is an ode to our region, the
Mm-hmm.
Caribbean.
Mm-hmm.
We really want to now put all of us as a culture, as a people, as a heritage, on center stage. And so, as you know, but maybe your audience isn't that aware, all of our fragrances start from the place of a human kind of characteristic, trait, story, myth, you name it. But then we try to
Mm-hmm.
pull that back. We find a floral inspiration, that's local to the region, and then we design our fragrances and our campaigns around the flower, in representation of this characteristic.
Mm-hmm.
And so in doing that and trying to figure out, what flower really can put the Caribbean in bloom, we arrived at our latest edition, Hibisco, which is actually the Spanish for hibiscus. And as anyone who grew up in the region would have known, like this is a flower that absolutely just permeated everywhere. I mean, I think we see a bit less of it now just because of deforestation and the way people are
Mm-hmm.
making their yards and people are not that into
I
gardening and
think it took a hit with Mila Bug as well.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yes, for sure. Um, and so, but I mean, growing up, I'm a child of the 80s. It was just everywhere. The house that I grew up in was literally surrounded,
Mm-hmm.
by this flower, and most people share a similar story. You walked in the street, it was wild in people's hedges, on the fences, and it's something that was really prominent throughout the whole region. And so we took the flower, and well, it came as an idea, I guess, from my own kind of childhood and my own upbringing. And I was fortunate enough as a child to travel the region and having remembered the flower. But once we started to do the research, it became very, very clear that it had to be, there's no other flower that could stand in the place.
Mm-hmm.
It has such a rich history of how it got here and how it permeated the island and where it came from. And then, in contemporary culture, it's known as a symbol for like beauty and exoticism. Women often will put it in their hair. You'll
Right.
see it in different magazines. And so, in terms of the campaign around this fragrance, You Are Royal, talking about us as Caribbean people, it just fit every bill. And
Mm-hmm.
so, it was ordained. And so we brought it to life. And we're on the precipice of actually launching. Right now, we're in our pre-launch campaign.
Mm-hmm. Okay. There we go. And this, I know people, it is the holidays and it's coming. You're in your pre-launch stage. And as all of your other fragrances and lines, they come in various sizes. Tell us about exactly what are the keys behind. We know it's the base is hibiscus, but talk about what is on the screen right now in the various sizes.
Okay. And so our fragrances, you're right, typically come in three different sizes. And so you have your standard size, which, is on my far right, and that's your 100 ml. You have your medium size, your 50 ml, which is on the far left. And then in the middle, a lot of people will call that like a travel size. And it's
Hmm.
basically a 15 ml. Um, in reality, you can travel with all sizes, but some of them are more convenient than others, depending on the size of your purse.
Correct, correct.
Uh, but
Yeah.
yeah, so those are the three sizes. I mean, from a notes perspective, the heart note is hibiscus, and so what I'm really hoping, or what I really hope to achieve in this fragrance, is actually a reminiscent smell of hibiscus.
Hmm.
And we've actually worked with some of the industry best perfumers and molecule creators to include some emoti technology, which
Hmm.
is basically science-backed perfume techniques and ingredients to cause actual feelings in your being. And so,
Mm.
from a notes perspective, we open up with some juicy pineapple, some apple, some blood orange. As the fragrance wears and you get into the heart, you get the hibiscus, you get some mango skin. And as it kind of dries out, we have pink praline, cedarwood, and musk. Now, within that combination of fragrances, we also have this emoji technology, which really makes people just feel happy. It's supposed to bring joy. It's a celebration of Caribbeanism. It's a celebration of us as a people. And so we actually went that extra mile to make sure that when people wore this is something that you really wear for yourself.
Hmm.
It brings you that joy throughout the day. And just excited to get it out there.
Well, good for you. You see which one keeps popping up? Let me just leave that in the back
That's
for a
your
little bit.
favorite. She like, I
Oh my
will not
gosh,
be
yes,
ignored.
I will not be. And you know what? It's like it's just popping up there.
Yeah.
The She Blooms, which is the before this one that you've just released right now. This was the last one that you released before this one, right? She Blooms?
Yeah, so at last release we had She Blooms and Ghost
Yeah,
Orchid.
right. Yeah. And even though all of them are just amazing fragrances, right? I have them here. And trust me, ladies and gentlemen, there's a science to it for true because you can actually layer this. And before Ted actually stated that he layers it himself, I was doing that with doing it myself. And I created my own smell, but it's all with Ted's fragrances. So when you gave me this for the purpose of just demonstration and letting people know, which I thank you, you don't need a whole heap either, I realize
N-
that.
No, 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 no. We go the extra mile. As Caribbean people, when we do something, we do it well,
Yeah.
right? And so the idea behind the line is, of course, each fragrance should be able to live on its own and be a complete person, if you will,
Mhm.
on its own. But when joined together, it's better. And so they've all been designed with this eye to making sure that you can layer and create more personalized
Mhm.
experiences
Mhm.
without fragrance clash or things that don't complement each other. And so the discovery set, which you're sneak previewing, because that's not coming out just yet.
Well, I just busted your bubble. I'm
I
sorry. I'm
know you're just
excited.
like all
I'm
over
just
the web.
excited. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like let's get it out there. So there's a built pent up demand.
Yeah, no, let's do it. But yeah, that's a great way for, people to sample all of the fragrances and also kind of experience, your mixing and mingling and seeing what
Right.
layering techniques work for you without committing to necessarily the two full-size bottles.
Now I noticed that the ghost orchid, it's mystery. Okay. The scent of confidence is actually the ghost
Ghost
orchid.
Orchid.
Yes. And then the scent of seduction is the banana orchid.
Yes,
Now, scent of attraction.
that's your
Mm-hmm.
favorite.
I didn't know until today. I had no clue. I had absolutely no clue. You think that's the problem then, huh? That's a good
No.
problem to have, eh? That's a good,
It- it-
and I make sure that I'm not out of this ever since discovering it. I'm being very honest with you. I am never out of it now. And it is so nice that I literally keep the bottle. Yeah, she's almost done, but I need another one. Christmas is coming. Christmas is
Yeah.
coming. And I'm going to be very open with you to show you that I do layer your fragrances there. That's the original baby. See?
Okay. Okay.
See?
Okay.
And she's full for a reason
Yeah.
because that's still my
Because
favorite.
layer them. Those two layer beautifully together too.
Oh my goodness. So
Yeah.
my entire family knows what I love, and they actually treat me well. So why give me something that I don't really like? But when I realized what the whole what it meant for attraction, I
Yes.
said,
Yes.
oh boy.
So you see the fragrance itself coming out in the personality, right?
Correct.
And so yeah, maybe you didn't put it together exactly like that before, but now that you read it, it kind of makes sense.
It makes sense. And I was like, now wasn't until I opened it and I read it and I was like, oh, well, that lines up.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
amazing because sometimes when I go out to do errands, people will be like, Sabrina was here. Sabrina was here. And I'm
Yeah.
like, really? They says, yeah, we know when you're around. Like if they come into an office or yeah, I have gotten that. Like that lady did on
Now
the
you have a
podcast.
signature. Now you have a whole signature.
Yeah, literally. They're like, that lady was here. I don't remember her name, but yeah, she was here. So good for you. Thank you for that. Now,
No.
you have managed to maintain humble to your roots, to your beginnings, as you continue to shatter the ceiling, as I alluded to upon introducing you, Ted. And how are you able to keep that heritage alive as you build this, understanding the competition and the downers that come with us being a small island jurisdiction? You obviously never made that stop you.
No. Um, so I mean, in terms of keeping humility alive, I mean, that's like one of the beautiful things about our culture, in particular within the bigger scope of Caribbean culture, Caymanian culture.
Mm-hmm.
I remember, growing up, and even to this day, I have friends who span every single demographic, every single educational background, every single socioeconomic background. And it's never been something that people that I saw that was my experience in our culture that people let them separate themselves
Mm-hmm.
by.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike a lot of other places, in a lot of other places, you go, as you climb, as you achieve certain things, you tend to not be as fluid.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's necessarily true. It is somewhat true in all the time, just because sometimes you become more busy. And so I often just, I'm hardly here. I'm on the road trying to grow my business. And so I'm,
Right.
not present. But there's this grounding with just how I was raised. There's a grounding in knowing that all things um, are possible for all people, through God and through belief and through work. And
Mm-hmm.
so I just believe personally, I've been given gifts and I've, pursued them, just the same as anybody else. It doesn't make me any different than anybody else.
Right.
And we're all on our own journey. At the end of the day, we're all just people. Um, More than, that, I just think it's actually an honor to be able to do what I do and earn a living. And
Mm-hmm.
so, there's no ego involved anymore. And actually, as an entrepreneur, you have to lose a lot of your ego if you plan to
Humble.
make it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You have to get
Um,
humble.
yeah. Yeah. And so, and the journey humbles you. I mean, like, there, you know, being a full, I made a video recently for social media, and I was like, it's so funny because I've been a part-time entrepreneur for 20 years. I've only been a full-time entrepreneur for 2 years, in about 2 months. And
Mm-hmm.
so even just that transition, I was like, I thought I knew what this was about, but oh my gosh, these 2 years have really woken me up to what this journey is really about.
Right, right. People see
And
the end product with your beautiful, because you see, I'm gonna not to be thing. You're seeing this, for example, and we say, oh, that's Ted. That's Ted
yeah,
Green. See, oh, there's another one. Wow.
uh,
People are
my
seeing the
babies.
finished product, but they do not understand the sweat, the toil, the how much maybe setbacks you may have that doesn't break your drive, doesn't break your stride. What there must be key building blocks that makes you know that you're on your right path. You travel the world to showcase. Now you're speaking. Um, that is a divine nugget that you have in you that keeps you motivated to continue despite any setbacks.
Yeah. Uh, so I mean, absolutely. I think I mean, I used to say that long before I was even working full time in my business, this found me, divine intervention, I would call it. And I still believe that. And it's just like any walk, the more you
Mm-hmm.
do it, the more you grow, the more you understand. If it's really aligned with you and your core, the more you love it. And
Mm-hmm.
so, I work all the time, like literally
Uh-huh.
all the time, but it doesn't feel that way. It doesn't feel, even when I'm doing the things that I don't necessarily like to do in the business, it
Because you
still doesn't
love
feel
what you're
that way.
doing. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Mm.
I think if you really follow your passions, and so cliche, but I always say too, things are cliche for a reason. Like
Hmm.
there's a reason it became a saying, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so if you really follow your passion and you're really on the right path, the right doors will open for you.
Hmm.
And I
Well
put in the
said.
work.
Well
So
said. Well said. Now, your scents are often described as, let's say, a bottled poetry. How do you actually approach storytelling then through your fragrances? Because I'm quite sure you described it well with this latest one that's about to be launched about your childhood memory and seeing all of these hibiscus flowers in the yard. So, how do you approach storytelling through fragrances? Because I'm quite sure everyone has a unique story behind it.
well, there's so many different stories to be told, right? And so we have kind of that deeper cultural story, that I told earlier. We have the fragrance composition story. How do I bring this fragrance to life in a way that feels wearable, in
Mm-hmm.
a way that's commercial, is actually going to sell and people are going to like it, and in a way that is resonant with the Caribbean olfactive, how
Right.
we interpret smell will be different than, say, how a European or a Canadian interprets smells. What might be sweet to me or what might be spicy, might not be as sweet or spicy for someone of Arabic background, right? And so, how we uniquely interpret how our olfactive works, that's also a big consideration in what we do. And that's often why our fragrances stand out a little
Mm-hmm.
differently than a lot of other high quality fragrances, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then you have the stories of the packaging. What's really going to resonate. I remember not that long ago being told, our products were too colorful and too bright to be in certain stores, because we were only targeting prestigious stores. Um, and I mean, we stuck to our guns. And,
Mm-hmm.
now those same stores, are calling us to be featured. But really, it was because we were authentically representing our culture. We're not a dim culture growing up. Or
Right.
everyone's house was pink,
Yeah.
pink and
Yeah.
white.
Mm-hmm.
And so we really wanted to just embrace and represent our story in authenticity. That's the
Mm-hmm.
key thing. And sometimes, to be honest, it doesn't come natural because my personal preference might be different from my story. And so it's something that really takes research. It takes a dedication to find the truth and then translate that truth in different ways that people can appreciate it.
Right. Now, oh my gosh. So just your packaging alone is a statement piece. I must say that I love your presentation from start to finish. And this is not just a conversation for conversation's sake. You can see, Ted, that you have put a lot of thought in your product, how it's presented from start to finish. And you have actually made a bar. You sat a bar for yourself. That is huge when it comes to branding and reputation. How important is that as an entrepreneur now? And you're seeing that having been now exposed globally, which you're going to go. How do you see how important that is now from start to finish, and never dilute your brand?
Well, you remember my brand started because, of my summer job when I was in high school. And looking around that souvenir shop and seeing our culture represented in ways that didn't resonate with me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the biggest, dissidence was the fact Cayman has a very sophisticated, elegant culture, and everything just kind of felt cheap or, homogenic.
Mm-hmm.
Um, for me, it was about breaking that idea and showing our culture and our heritage in excellence. And
Mm-hmm.
so, from the very beginning, even though this started off as kind of like a passion project, the desire and the goal to showcase our culture in excellence existed. If I didn't do it, then I would just be like everybody else that I was looking
Right.
at. And so, from the very beginning, that was the goal. And I think it probably came out to me as an issue because for a long time, that's how I've been. And so I might not be the best at anything, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to always do my best at
Right. Right.
everything.
Right. That speaks volumes of where you are. So tell us exactly where during this whole creation process of yours, you've launched in Jamaica, um, but that's only one jurisdiction. Where has this entire venture of yours, what countries have it taken you to? And what is your biggest takeaways for every place you've ever landed? And compare it back to where you're
Oh,
coming from. And is there like aha moments that hit you?
so we launched in Jamaica last year. We have upcoming launches in St. Martin, Curacao, and St. Vincent is pretty close. We also have small boutique showrooms in the US and New York and Atlanta that carry our product with the various conversations of with different retailers in the US, Canada, and the UK
Mm-hmm.
right now. And so hopefully within the next kind of 12 months, we'll see those starting to come online. Um, what have been my big, I mean, I guess my biggest takeaway, my fragrances and also my personal life, one of my favorite things to do is travel. I'm a travel junkie. Everybody who knows me knows it. Um, and
I
so
think there's something in the DNA with that one.
there is definitely in the DNA. I couldn't escape it. And so I've traveled. I've been a lot of places, and I think the thing that stands out to me is I go to a lot of places and I really enjoy it. I mean, if you take me to Rio, take me to Rome, Barcelona, these are some of my favorite cities, but there's nowhere like home.
Mm-hmm.
And so I say that kind of tongue in cheek because I love to be on the road. I love
Mm-hmm.
road. I love travel. I love plane. But at the end of the day, when I come back to Cayman and just our soft luxury is kind of how we've coined it in the company.
Mm-hmm.
This ease of, going out and having a meal with, as I said, a very varied friend group,
Right.
getting together and talking, playing dominoes, it's just this kind of ease in life and connection that I feel isn't as prevalent in a lot of other places.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like culturally, you think about it, I know my first cousin, I know my second cousin, I know my third cousin. Maybe from there it starts to fall off a bit. But at the same time, you go to other places and people don't even talk to their siblings. Like I
Oh,
haven't
wow.
spoken to my sister in 2 months. I haven't seen my brother in a year. And from our perspective, it's like,
What?
what? What do you mean? I talk to my sister every day,
Mm-hmm.
like
Mm-hmm.
and so that connection with like family and humanity is just something that we really undervalue
Mm-hmm.
from our lifestyle. I think one of the things that really stood out to me as we started to look at Hibisco and the Caribbean culture at large is just like how much influences we have within our culture. And
Mm-hmm.
so we look at ourselves as Caribbean people today, but where did it come from? You have the various indigenous tribes in the region prior to oncoming of the Spanish and then the English and the French, and then the importation of the
Mm-hmm.
Africans and the Indians and the Chinese, and you have all of these influences in Caribbean culture, and you know throughout all of the islands, and you have to be very careful sometimes with how we say Caribbean culture because with throughout the
Yeah.
islands there are stark differences in culture, but holistically, there's more similar than there are differences. And
Mm-hmm.
so it's all kind of flavored with all of these different things that have happened over a very, very long period of time. And I think that that's one of the things that I really appreciate, because you have so much variation within our culture that you also don't necessarily see when you travel to other places.
Right, right. Now, I noted, let's go back to the latest baby, the latest creation, Hibisco. Everybody sees this, and you're hearing the background about it, and what they look at and they see first, more than likely, is a hibiscus plant. Now, how are you going to actually get people from not being, who we are? We say it as we see it, Hibisco.
That's part of a campaign. That's part of a
Okay.
campaign. And
Okay.
so Hibisco was intentionally chosen. And so, as I said, we're a company that's really striving in representing Cayman and also representing the wider Caribbean. Um, Spanish is actually the number one language spoken in the region. And so a
Hmm.
lot of people will actually see this and go, Hibisco, not just naturally. For the
Okay.
rest of us Anglophones who see and say
Hmm.
hibisco, um, that's
Wow.
where brand campaigns come in handy. And so there is a component of our campaign that we'll be having this conversation. But why hibisco as opposed to hibiscus or hibisco? And
Yeah.
we can have these conversations, and everyone's the wiser and more connected because of it.
Okay. Very interesting. Because even those who are actually now going to be having this on their shelves, that conversation will be tailored based on what region of the world you're going to. Like,
Absolutely.
like here, it's gonna be hibisco because they see, but he said that's a hibiscus plant. Where he got that from? It's gonna be amazing the type of conversations that will come about when you actually do your official launch,
Absolutely. And that's the whole
especially
point.
here at home.
That's the point. We want people talking. We want to really celebrate our culture, and it takes
Hmm.
people talking and mobilizing and galvanizing around it for that to happen, right?
Right,
Nobody, you can't galvanize and support and celebrate anything on your own. And so
right.
these kinds of conversations and having that conversation with, the different influences and the different ingredient choices that we use in our fragrances, is going to be part of the fun of Hibisco.
Hmm. Now, can you share anything about the launch? Like, do you have an idea of when? Are you able to share with us that, or just keep off?
So we're actually in pre-launch right now. And so our VIP club got the first access to pre-orders, and they're rolling in. We opened up the pre-orders to the wider public last week. And so we're starting to market that. The actual fragrance being on shelves will happen kind of within the next 2 weeks, we'll say
Okay.
that.
So it'll be
Um,
there definitely for Christmas, for those who see
oh, for
Christmas
sure.
start after the end of November, but for us who see Christmas now, first of
Well, people are
November.
already shopping now. People are already
Exactly.
shopping now, and so it's really really good that we have the online offering, because it gives us a way to also directly interact with our audience, with our target
Mm-hmm.
audience. And
Mm-hmm.
so we're getting lots of questions coming in online. We're getting lots of orders, which is also really really great. And then really excited for it to be on shelves before the holidays.
Right, right. Now, who is this particular scent for? Hibisco,
Haha.
who is it for? It's a personal scent, a statement, understanding that all of your scents attract certain personalities. Mm-hmm.
So Hibisco is really for anyone of Caribbean origin, or who's in love with the idea of Caribbean origin. And so I think, the Caribbean as an export region has, we call it the world's crush at Ted Green. We're the world's crush. It doesn't matter where I go. And
Mm-hmm.
people say, where you're from? And I said the Cayman Islands. If they know where it is, or if they don't know where it is, once they figure out it's the Caribbean, they're like, what are you doing here? Like,
Ah,
I want to go there.
I get that as well. Like, what the heck are you doing in this cold climate? We would want to be there.
Right. And so this fragrance is intentionally very warm, as it is floral and gourmand as well. And so
Mm-hmm.
it's very, very warm. It's for us, everyone that looks like you and I and everything in between, everyone that speaks like us. It's really a celebration of yourself. And so the campaign that we're launching is actually called You Are Royal. And we're going to be released, but we've already started to drip it. We'll be doing a full release over the next kind of two to 3 weeks. But
Mm-hmm.
it really speaks to that thing within us, that
Right.
DNA.
Right.
Um, if you want to take it back, as I was referencing earlier, the hibiscus flower actually isn't native to the Caribbean. It got here via the transatlantic slave trade, hundreds of years ago. Africans brought it here as seeds because it was such an important part of their culture and their upbringing for food, beauty, medicine. And so it's permeated the region. Um, I think like similar to the idea of celebrating culture, we have to really understand the origin of culture and why
Mm-hmm.
we are who we are. And so
Mm-hmm.
as we look at that DNA and people who could survive the Middle Passage, people who've, fought for their freedom for a region that has blossomed into the world's crush and
Mm-hmm.
all the things that happened in between. This is just really a celebration of self, and it's for all of us who want to embrace being Caribbean and celebrating our unique identity.
That I know, excellent. Well said. And it was not until you actually shared that with me in regards to the origins of the hibiscus that really made me look deeper into that. Because you come up and you just see this flora and fauna here in the Cayman Islands, who really, unless you're into horticulture, that sort of stuff, you would never know the origins of these things. This is why the ghost orchid is so important to us here in the Cayman Islands.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean it is, and the coast orchid is slightly different because that is actually indigenous and a flower of the soil of the Cayman Islands.
Mm-hmm.
I think too, going to referencing some of the conversation earlier, at Ted Green, because we're so focused on celebrating our culture, we don't hide from things here. And so we're
Mm-hmm.
talking about the ghost orchid, we're talking about the wild banana orchid, we're talking about the hibiscus flower
Mm-hmm.
and everything that all of these different flora, as well as the characteristics in human life that they represent,
Mm-hmm.
because it is a complex thing, Caribbean identity. And so it's like these conversations for us that kind of make you a little uncomfortable, but it's
Mm-hmm.
kind of the point, not many other places. I mean, the Caribbean was some of the first to be released from slavery and all these things. Why?
Mm-hmm.
It's the people. The people have always been um, strong-willed, let's say that. Uh, and it's literally in our DNA. And so why shouldn't we celebrate that and be proud of that?
Mm-hmm.
For all of its good and all of its bad, it is who we are and why we are the way that we are today.
Mm-hmm.
And so historical culture, contemporary culture, and everything in between is kind of what we're looking to do alongst the line of fragrances that we're offering.
I know I hear a lot about your perfumes, right? But they're candles as well. There are other things for the home. Can you just share us? Because let's talk about lifestyle and expansion, where you can go with this. Because I know as an entrepreneur, you're constantly developing. You say you don't sleep. That's an entrepreneur. Okay. That's fine. You enjoy what you do. But there are also your home collection of candles and diffusers as well that has become a fan favorite.
Oh yeah. So we call it our home sense line, and so it's candles and diffusers. Like everything Ted Green, everything that we do is super good for you, the user, as well as the environment. And
Mhm.
so similar to our fragrances, all of our home scents are hypoallergenic. They don't carry any, hazardous or plastics, toxins, parabens, all of the things that we shouldn't be ingesting or breathing in. Um,
Mhm.
we they're super simple: soy wax, essential oil. And from a design perspective, we really lean into the Caribbean vibe. And so if you think about the fine fragrances, we really have kind of heavy hitting cultural statements, right?
Mhm.
If you
Mhm.
think about the home sense, it's really a vibe. We have mango time, which is our mango and guava candle. That's
Mhm.
really what it sounds like, mango and guava, a proper note of mango, summer fruit, fun, energetic. You have Cocoloba, which is
Mhm.
named after the Cocoloba overa trees, the sea grape
Mhm.
trees. And that one is very kind of just aromatic and airy and slightly salty. Sea breeze on a
Mhm.
non-sargassum day. Um, you have the fever grass. Anybody who's ever been sick in the
Mhm.
Caribbean
Liberty.
probably had a bit of
Liberty.
fever grass.
Tea.
And so it gives you that kind of healing property without the medicinal component. We've really warmed it up with some basil and other notes to really give it kind of a warmer but still true to the fever grass scent. And then we have Island Rose, which is one of my personal favorites. It's a bit sweeter, on the sweeter side. It's definitely a gourmand with some vanilla and deep rose. But
Right.
also kind of growing up for me, a child of the 80s, I was responsible for tending my grandma's gardens. And at that time, you likely, if you had a grandma, you had roses that you had to tend to. And
Mhm.
so that
Sweet
one's actually
rose, jump up, come kiss me, you need me, and they got it.
so yeah, what is known doesn't need explaining. And so anybody who's lived it, and that's why I say this brand is really for us. And some things just don't need to be explained because we've lived
Correct.
that.
Correct. Oh my goodness. I see your comment. Any samples?
Yeah, we have samples. Um, I mean, I know at some point towards the end of the show, people will have a chance to win
There you go. I
on
wanted you to say it. Yeah. Mhm.
to win a hibiscus fragrance, a hibisco fragrance. However, we are going to be handing out samples um this weekend, so they'll be available at our vendors by next week.
Oh,
If people
nice.
really want samples, people are like sending us messages in like social media or emails, and we do treat our customer as well. So
Good.
we'll
And you're on
get some out to you.
Instagram. What social media handles are you on?
So all of the business handles are Ted Green Fragrances. And so that's Ted Green Fragrances on Facebook, Ted Green Fragrances on Instagram, Ted Green Fragrances on TikTok, and on the website it's just tedgreen.com.
Mm-hmm.
Um, my personal handles are my name, Tedrick Green on Facebook, or I am Ted Green on Instagram.
There you go. I mean, where do you go in an environment where you can actually speak to the person behind the magic that we now take home in a bottle? That makes the Cayman Islands so unique, Ted. And I don't think that we even understand how unique that is to us here in the Cayman Islands, that we can look at you, wear your fragrance, go, let's say we're going global with this, right? Um, go somewhere in the world and see a Ted Green on there and, oh, I know him, I went to school with him. It's not that you're diluting you, it's a sense of pride. And what you've done is capturing who we are as Caymanian people in a bottle that will, it's timeless. Good for you.
So So my mom actually shared a story with me recently where one of her friends from here went to visit a friend, an American friend, I think in Minnesota, if I remember correctly. And, just in her house, as friends do, went to use the restroom. And when she
Mhm,
was in the restroom, she saw a bottle of banana orchid.
mhm.
And she was like, "How? Where you?" And so she called my mom, being like, "Yo, I just came to my friend's house, and she had," and my mom, of course, calls me. They're sending me pictures, and so to your point, it is something that we've been selling fragrances for 15 years, and
Wow.
so even though I've only left my career in finance and pursued this full time, for about 2 years, coming up to 2 years now, there's this long history of people who have been interacting with the brand, who've been coming to Cayman, who've been purchasing, who've been supporting. And of course, now with wider distribution, we're becoming a little more accessible. And so these stories are just kind of popping up, and you're just, as someone who really wants to celebrate and share our culture and excellence, these stories make my whole day.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's unique for me too. Trust me. It's,
You're
it's
not
not.
you're not accustomed to all of that attention, but now you're going on the global stage. We know for a fact the power and the mileage of podcasting. We know that for a fact here because of our viewership and all of our commenters that will even after a podcast will message and they will ask questions, which is why it's important that we tell people locally where they can get your stuff. It was very important to let people know that how they can reach out to you on your social media pages because of the very flexibility in getting the message out, showcasing your product right here on platforms such as this, because this may be first time someone may be hearing you, even though we speak all the time. This is not your first time being showcased on the Sabrina Speaks platform, but it could be a first time for our community. So you shouldn't take anything for granted. And right here locally, where can persons in the Cayman Islands find your product outside of going directly to you? Like if they want to go now and get their hand on any of your other products, we understand that Hibisco is actually on its way out. It's not yet on the shelves here in Cayman,
Yes.
right? Or anywhere, but
No,
more to come. And that's why you want to make sure that they like, follow, and subscribe to your handles so that they can
absolutely.
keep up to speed with it. But locally, for all of your other lines, where can persons find them?
So, if you're familiar, like you, Miss She Blooms, you can always shop at www.tedgreen.com, and we do on island next day delivery right to your door. If you're not familiar, you want to check out the stuff first, you wanted to try the whole line. Kirk Freeport is probably our easiest
Mhm.
place to access just because they have 5 different locations across the island and they're in the airport. So Kirk Freeport's a big one, La Visage is a big one, Tabs, Marriott. I mean, we're in 22 different doors, so
Good for you.
um
Good for you. See, we got a question here by Miss Smith Campbell. Where is your line being produced, and are the ingredients derived from locally sourced plants?
so on the so no, not yet. Well, not locally sourced in the Cayman Islands, and so we do use ingredients sourced from other parts of the region. We don't actually have a lot of perfuming in terms of the value chain of where ingredients come from in the region. That is something that we're hoping to change over time, and by
Mhm,
hoping, I mean that we will.
mhm,
The Caribbean is ripe for more industry around fragrance, and so
mhm,
as much as we like to talk about Ted Green from a end product perspective, there's a lot that I have in my mind to do to develop industry here that
mhm,
other people can also partake. So from a creative perspective, everything that we do is by Caribbean minds. My
mhm,
entire team is of native Caribbean descent. But from a supply chain
mhm.
of ingredients perspective, there's a lot of work that we can do, that there's more people benefiting from this very lucrative industry,
Yeah,
right? Right now, similarly, our fine fragrances are produced in Europe, the number one manufacturing destination for fine fragrances, um, and the homes. And let me sometimes we go sorted. Uh, yeah, and the home scents are produced in the US.
Okay, very, very. I mean, it's just amazing on this journey of yours as we continue to see you evolve. We see the appreciation of your very own here, but really, what's next for Ted Green Fragrances? Let's say in 2026. I got to go there.
Of course, of course.
I wouldn't just leave you there. I would not just leave you
No,
there.
no, that would
Sneak
be so
peek.
unlike you.
I like your mama.
Yes, you don't got to worry about what's on your mind, right?
Exactly.
So what's next? I mean, we have some really, really, really exciting deals, none of which I'm at liberty to speak about just
Okay.
yet,
Hmm.
but we have, a major deal doing a signature event for a major hospitality player.
Nice.
We've got a very interesting a very
Y-
interesting platform that's being created, um, to support the brand, expansion, Cayman Islands.
Nice.
Um, we have very enthusiastic distributors,
Hmm.
that are really working with us, to arrive at deals that give us global distribution.
Okay.
Um, and so, I mean, everything takes time. We've been working on some of these deals for well over a year, but they're intricate stuff. And so,
Hmm.
we definitely expect to see a few of them come online during 2026. But we have kind of a pipeline of deals into 2030.
Oh, really? Good for
Yeah.
you. Good for you. See, we talk about succession planning in any organization. It's no different than when you're an entrepreneur and you're doing something like yourself. You're looking way in advance. It just doesn't stop with the next bottle. And a lot of
Oh,
people, they just bask in the moment and it stops there. You constantly explore.
yeah, I mean, it's kind of a bizarre reality where you have to work in the present, but also keep an eye on the future. I mean, at any given time, our kind of 3 to 5 year plan, we're making considerations today to make sure that we can achieve that plan in 3 or 5 years,
Right.
depending on what it is. But I also think that it's part of the reason, it really depends on your company and how you want to grow your company. But a lot of what we're doing, this isn't for today. This isn't a money grab. This is, we want to create a legacy
Yeah.
for our people and our culture and our
Correct.
region.
Right. How are you able to keep up with demands then as you continue to grow, understanding that it's not produced here locally? That may have its own form of challenges. How are you able to keep up with the demand? Is like there a measuring stick? You could just have this balloon demand all of a sudden. Does it work like that in your world?
It it absolutely does work. I mean, shamefully, we sold out of Banana Orchid completely, She Blooms completely, and 2 SKUs of Hibisco of Ghost Orchid from about July this year, and we just restocked last week because we had an absolute surge in demand over Q2. Um, and
What
it
do you think was
just
causing that? Because your people are now getting to know you, you're more exposed. Could you have forecast that to not have ran out, which is a good thing?
So I kind of did forecast it, but the lead time in, fragrance development is, I mean, it can range from several weeks to several months,
Correct.
depending on the time of the year. Also, a lot of the sourcing suppliers that I use are the same sourcing suppliers that all of the major, niche brands and big
Right.
companies use because
So their
they're the
demand for
best,
others. Yeah.
and I have to fight for my place on that production line, with that, sourcing that rose absolute sourcing, whatever it is that we need, we're fighting with all the Goliaths of the industry. And
Right.
so I did forecast it as we got certain orders come through. I mean, hundreds of products at a time for um a stage show in the USVI was one of them that came through. They've been following our brand for a while, and they were having Christmas in July and needed
Ah.
perfume for their 500 guests.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
we had a massive wedding, and we did some stuff and it's kind of like you just can't, not wedding, sorry. Well, it was kind of like a wedding. It was a business group.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I mean, it's just you don't know. I literally was in Miami. I was in a business meeting. We have a twice weekly meeting from 6:30 p.m. till midnight. And
Hmm.
I got a call from a wedding, well, an event planner, sorry. I keep saying wedding. And she's like, look, Ted, I have this really sophisticated group in town. They want to do one perfume. I told them there's only one way to do it if they wanted to have an experience. Can you do this? And she's giving me all the details. And I'm like, of course we can do this, yada yada yada. I actually flew in the next morning so that
Oh,
I could
wow.
meet the group in person. We had a beautiful event, but things like this really eat away, at your stock really, really quickly, hundreds
Quickly.
of products at one time.
Correct. Correct.
And so on the back of like a couple of these big kind of impromptu orders,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh my gosh, like what I thought would last us until end of Q3 isn't gonna cut it. And I get on the phone with all my suppliers trying to make magic work. And we just have to do the whole lead time situation. And so we just
Mm-hmm.
thought, and by the way, this new global economy doesn't make it any easier,
I
you
know,
know?
I know, I know, I know. Yeah. With everything like tariffs that we're hearing out of the US, even though you're dealing with a lot of people over in Europe, is there any risks of like supply chain issues, even delivery, how it actually gets from point A to point B to then end up on the shelves and make those moments even special? Have any of what's happening right there, we know where, caused you to lose sleep at night because of what's going on?
So I'm not a lose sleep kind of person. I only get like 4 or 5 hours a night, so I can't afford to lose
You
sleep.
can't lose
But
anymore.
so I go to sleep once my 3, 4 o'clock roll around. But
Okay.
but you know, it's really hard out there right now.
Okay.
Logistics is completely its own game.
Hmm.
The pricing in logistics right now is equivalent to gouging. I got some
Right.
prototypes done earlier this year for a project I'm working on, and the shipping cost was 10 times, and I'm not exaggerating, the cost of the prototype.
What?
The prototypes were getting done in China, and at the time, there was some unrest around the tariffs and different things, and
Right.
so they had to ship to Dubai, and then from Dubai they shipped to their port in the US, and then they shipped it to me.
Hmm.
Um, but by the time it got to me, the shipping on a $20
Wow.
thing was like $300 dollars, and a prototype like $300. And so it's been and that's moving one small thing. Now you try moving thousands of bottles of perfume,
Correct. Correct.
or tons of ingredients.
Hmm.
It's an interesting world right now, but that's part of the journey. That's part of the learning curve. And I
Hmm.
think if you can weather what's going on right now, and you can last the test of time, absolutely you're going to come out stronger
Hmm.
for it. And a lot of people won't. So
Yeah. Hey, look, you serve a mighty God, eh? The universe takes care of take care of you. Now, any
say less.
creative any creative risks that you're I don't know how you can do about it being excited, but it's a risk, but yet you're still going gung ho. So just let me ask it. Are there any creative risks you're excited to explore despite
Well,
the geo turmoil?
I mean, we are a creative risk. This idea of celebrating our Caribbeanness in this world, that we're told to, hide your accent, or speak more
Yeah,
clearly,
yeah, yeah.
or dress less loudly,
Hmm.
uh, you know,
To stay in the
um,
back, diluting yourself.
yeah, blend in, they said.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
Um, and so our entire brand mission is a creative risk. Within that risk, we also have a lot of risk in the culture. Now, the Caribbean culture is very vibrant and diverse. And as I said earlier, as much as I believe that there's more similarities than differences, there are a lot of differences.
Mhm,
And so even the idea of speaking for a region is a massive risk in and of itself. I mean, the idea around Hibisco and speaking
mm,
about the origin story of the hibiscus flower is a big risk. And I mean, we spend a lot of time thinking about all of the potential eventualities of these things. But at the end of the day, the whole purpose of what we're doing is to push the boundary, is to get
mhm,
that conversation. And it's not always going to be pleasant, even though we
mm,
wish it would be. But
mhm,
I think it's always necessary. I think it's always necessary to have those conversations. As I said, this isn't fly by night thing that we're doing. We're really
right,
looking to shift the mindset of
correct.
the Caribbean and what we're capable of and what we can do. And we can't do it by ourselves. I
Mhm,
could have the best product in the world. If my community doesn't galvanize and support and talk about Ted Green and buy Ted Green, we're going to have to close our doors just like every other company out there.
right, right.
And so it is a massive risk to talk and to be bold about these things.
Mhm,
But at the same
mhm.
time, if we can't do that and walk that line, our whole purpose as a brand, as I see it, as I've created it, we'd be doing our own selves a disjustice.
Yeah. Now, as you say,
Injustice.
looking at just even your own, some would tend to say, well, you only make it big in another man's country, and your own don't even recognize you until you make it somewhere else. What's your take on that? I mean, I've seen you on the front cover of What's Hot magazine, and just for the record, I still have the magazine just because you're on the cover.
Thank you.
How does that
Um,
make you feel? I mean, that's just one milestone locally, but not only that, you've been interviewed in the region. You've got TV stations that are calling to just want to talk to you, and I'm quite sure that's just the beginning of a lot of things that's going to open the doors that you can't even speak about right now.
yeah, so I definitely think that there is a truth to that. I definitely think that there's a truth to people attributing more respect if you make it outside of, your home turf. I have to say that my experience is a little different
Hmm.
because Caymanian people really embraced Ted Green, even during a time where that opposite mentality was more prevalent than I think it is today.
Right.
Um, I think that for a long time also though, and to be fair to us as a people, for a very long time, our own people didn't create things that were globally
Mm,
competitive.
right.
And we have to get out of this island mindset and really understand that we're competing in a global world. And so I think
Hmm.
when even though my first packaging, Miss awful. I wish I had a box I could show you it today. And it wasn't awful because it wasn't beautiful. It was, beautiful for what we did, but it was awful in the sense of definitely was not global competitive. I couldn't
Okay.
put that on a Bloomingdale shelf. But
Right.
it's what I had at the time. And so I think another part of the Ted Green brand story that people really um invest in is they could see the growth over time. They
Hmm.
remember those, you know, 5.5 by 5.5 cubes with, almost 3 inches of styrofoam holding up the bottle.
Right.
And now they're seeing our sleek packaging, 15 years later, and they would have
Hmm.
seen some of our fragrances in between. And I think that they're very, very happy to be a part of that journey.
Hmm.
And so if you give people a reason, if you also allow them in, I think another thing that we have culturally is we don't want to talk about what we're doing. We're
Yeah.
afraid of that critique, and
Right.
as creative people we're very afraid of that critique because we want you to
Hmm.
love whatever we're doing. But I
Correct.
think if you want people to buy in, you have to be willing to accept that and learn from it and grow from it. And you won't accept everything. I mean, we might just have a differences of opinions, but you have to be
To
open
hearing
to
it,
it.
at least hearing it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But on that same point, just to wrap it up, in the Cayman market, we do our sales reports from our biggest vendors, and we're always top two in terms of sales, and this is in competing against hundreds of perfume brands, and so 40% of our purchasing base are locals, and
Wow.
so to achieve that number one and number two spot, we were the first brand in over 6 years to beat the brand who was consistently number one every single month. We're the first brand in
Congratulations.
6 years to beat that brand, and we're still always in a competition between us two right now. And
Okay.
so, a lot of that has to do with local. So I can't,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can't say full-heartedly that statement is still true, but I do
True.
understand where it comes from.
It's from.
Um,
Hmm.
and I do see a lot of other people too in other, businesses really striving now for that. This could be anywhere product.
Hmm.
No,
Hmm.
it's good that it's from us, it's good that it's by us, but it could be anywhere, and I think that's the point.
Correct. Well said. If you could bottle one emotion or moment next, what would it be?
If I could boss this laugh, that
You're like,
I
where
bo-
the heck is she going
this
with this?
I just want to bottle that joy. I mean,
Oh,
yeah.
it'll be interesting what kind of floral will come with that. Mm.
All of a sudden my mind was rushing with ideas. I was like, oh, I'm still in this call. Come, come back.
But if you had that opportunity to bottle that emotion, the laughter, the joy, and where it comes from organically in your
Yeah,
creative space, to just capture that, understanding your own road, it would be amazing to bottle that and for people to
yeah,
wear that. That would be a true TED signature piece.
yeah. So I think I won't quite bottle it just yet because capturing that laugh is going to be hard. But I
Uh-huh.
do. I'm on this path now where I'm consistently being asked for more and more information, and so I think I'm finally being drawn out of my shell and being put in front of more cameras, and I'm
Hmm.
gonna be investing some time into really sharing my journey, my laughs, my cries, my everything
Yeah.
with my audience. And so
Hmm. Hmm.
that's something that people can look forward to as well.
What's your to-go fragrance at night when you're going out?
When I'm going out, I will often, well, it depends on where I'm going, but I will often layer Ghost Orchid and Ghost Orchid. Yeah. And so if I'm going out at night, shower, um, moisturize, Ghost Orchid, close, Ghost Orchid, Ghost Orchid.
Oh, okay. Interesting. So that's the layering technique right there that works for you.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I know it sounds like a lot of perfume, but I actually don't use a lot. Each one of those is probably like tooth sprays. I don't Our fragrances are smelt to have a good sillage, so
Hmm.
you're not going to be missed, generally speaking.
Right.
Some people love it to be super wide, and so if you want more, you spray more, and as your body heats up, your
It triggers it.
your
Hmm.
yeah, your radius grows. I like a very personal sillage, so in my complete layering, I might spray 6 sprays or 7 sprays, something like that. Um, but it's enough for me. As we're here, you can smell me. That's good.
Oh, okay. All righty. I just, for me, I just love it. It is what it is. Just moving forward now, with the whole layering scents and all of that for male, female, your perfumes, your fragrances are pretty much designed for unisex. Am I right or wrong with this? Can anybody wear any, or there's just some that is just designed for men versus women? Because have a very one aunt who she'll kill you for the blue bottle one.
Yeah,
I could just use it. She's like, that's my favorite. But I would say that
and
that's more masculine, in my humble opinion.
and traditionally, from a fragrance perspective, it would be more masculine, kind of more on the citrusy side. But I have several men, and we can see them ordering online who
Hmm.
only order She Blooms. I used to think that it was um for like their wives or girlfriends or mothers or whomever. But through time, we learned that it's for themselves. And
Wow.
so, and even like even referencing that group event that I was talking about
Yeah,
earlier,
yeah, yeah.
we had several of the men who walked away with Banana Orchid, which again is this kind of like effervescent, sparkling, floral
Hmm.
fragrance.
Hmm.
Me myself, I wear all of them, but I think as a designer,
You
uh,
should. You have to. You have to. You don't get a pass.
I don't get, it is, I design things that I like,
Hmm.
but at the same time, I think that the scent doesn't have a gender. And
Right.
so what works for you, what works for your PO, none of our fragrances are hormonal based, even though, I have people who will say, oh my gosh, every time I wear Banana Orchid, it's like I can't, the
Hmm.
attention is a lot, let's say that.
Hmm. Hmm.
Uh, but fragrance itself doesn't have a gender.
Hmm.
So it's really whatever you like. We do market different fragrances to different bases. But our experiences, people just like what they like.
Okay. All right. Now, do you foresee yourself going into lotions or maybe even body washes like soaps, that sort of stuff, like the gels, so that you can get like a whole, what we can get now is a set of different sizes, but one may love lotions, one may love shower gels. We don't know. You see yourself
Yeah,
entering that market soon?
I do. And as you might have heard a couple times on this call, anything that we do in excellence. And
That's
so
right.
it's not about, people will
Just
add
coming up
fragrance
with it.
oil to, some off the shelf lotion base and, call it a fragrance. That's not how we do. So I won't get into the secret sauce of what we're working on, but let's just
Okay.
say stay tuned.
All right. No, this as long as I know it soon come.
Yeah,
That
man.
works for us in the Caribbean. That works for
So
us in the
come.
Caribbean. Yes, soon come. But any advice would you give to aspiring, let's say, fragrance creators or those persons who would have never ever saw this as something that they could do? What would you say for the young people? We had just graduation last week before last, and all of these young persons just trying to navigate life. What advice would you give to young persons who may be just trying to find their way in general? It does not necessarily have to be fragrance, but that's your love. Um, just in general.
Okay. Um, so advice I would give young people today, graduating now, about exploring life. Well, I think, yeah. So I'm a huge advocate for education.
Hmm.
I think a lot of of my own success, whether in my career or in my businesses, has been fostered through the ability to think critically and objectively about
Hmm.
information, data. And so I think we're in a world now with, the advent of, chat GPT and AI
Right.
learning, that there's an idea that, education is, obsolete. And I would seriously challenge that idea,
Hmm.
at least for the next decade or two,
Hmm.
and encourage, young people today to seek out education. I'm also a believer that education isn't always necessarily the classroom. I'm a big believer in formalized education, but education might be podcasts, it might be reading books. I mean, guarding what you put into your mind, guarding what you
Right.
put into yourself, in
Correct.
today's world is super important. And so, education, consumption of social media, all good, but all has its bad. And I think, we're seeing a lot of people struggle finding their way. You know, I speak with quite a few young people, and I'm speaking with 18-year-olds who feel unaccomplished because, they don't have a house or a car. And I'm like, you're 18, but they're also on social media,
Hmm.
and it's telling them if they don't have a house and a car, then somehow your life is less meaningful, or you've done
Yeah.
less, or you should have all of these things. um and I'm like, some 18-year-olds will, some 19-year-olds will, but that's not the reality for
Hmm.
most. And
Hmm.
so I think, my biggest advice would be to pursue education and guard what you're putting in your mind.
Okay. Well, sound advice. Now, we said for all of those, it's almost time to wrap up the show. That we would be doing a little challenge giveaway. What do you got store up? We got some online, and we got those who are free to call in.
Yeah. So,
A
um,
trivia challenge of some
a
sort.
trivia challenge, and I get to
Hmm.
set the challenge.
Of course.
Okay. So, who can tell me or tell us
Is it going to be a
who?
telephone call or because we got both. We got them who are on YouTube and Facebook, and then we got those who may want to call in. So we can probably do two, one on a call in and maybe one on a comment or something, or whoever answers, because it's hard to judge something on a Facebook because we don't know. But what shows up on my screen based on whatever the trivia is going to be would go for the persons who are on Facebook and YouTube streaming. And then we'll have one for a caller. Now you can choose what number caller or whatever. Is it the first call with the right? I don't know. Let's figure it out. So this
So
is not
you
anything
have
concocted.
you handle the administration. I'm gonna handle the question.
Okay, good.
So you tell me what you want to do.
Just give me the trivia and then I'll work it out. But I want two. We're gonna give one for those who are commenting live on our social media channels, the Facebook and Instagram and YouTube, and then we'll have a live calling. Who would call in? So we'll give one to a lucky caller and one who would comment on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube.
Okay. And so who can tell us, um
This would be for a call or the social media handle. Let's do the one for a call in 936-8255.
for a call-in,
Mhm.
who can tell us who Hibisco was created for?
Okay. Who was Hibisco created for?
Yeah, who is
N-
Hibisco, the new fragrance, created for?
Okay, 936-8255. All of my people on the Facebook and Instagram, you can stay there. We got a question for you. But 936-8255, if you can give us the answer to that, is the number to call. Who was Hibisco created for? We're live right now, 936, that's 345, 936-8255. You could be the lucky winner of your own bottle of the latest fragrance by our very own Ted Green. Yeah. So there we go. Got a caller. Good evening, caller. You're live on Sabrina Speaks. Can you turn down the radio or whatever's in the background, please?
Did. Okay,
Okay, good.
For the Caribbean. It was created for the Caribbean.
It was created
Okay.
for the Caribbean. That's a win.
We could, yeah, we'll take that one for sure. I love it.
There we
It is.
go. Yep, I got your number down, so we will definitely get you that. Congratulations for that. You've gotten yourself a prize. You've gotten yourself a bottle of Hibisco.
Thank you. Thank you, Ted.
No problem,
Thank
my
you.
love. I'll call you back a little later and we can arrange for delivery, okay?
Okay.
All right. There we go. So that's our call in.
Yes.
So we got that one for, okay. So for those who are streaming us live, here's another question for you. Streaming and commenting on Facebook and YouTube channels. This question is for you. So this one is not a call in one. This is one for you who can answer and post your answer on either via YouTube or Facebook. Hint, hint. 60th birthday is on, Gina Wilson says, hint, hint, 60th is on Sunday, the 9th of November. Gina is just giving us a hint, okay? Well. Let's see, Gina, if you could be the first to answer this question that's going to be posed by Ted Green. Let's go.
That's 4 days before my birthday.
There you
Uh,
go.
So the name Hibisco is Spanish for hibiscus. Why did we choose to name it in Spanish?
So there, that question goes out to all of us who are streaming live on YouTube and Facebook. That is for you to answer on those platforms, is what I'm saying. No call in for this one. No call in for this one. Let's see if you can answer that question. Repeat it for us, Ted.
The name Hibisco is Spanish for hibiscus. Why did we choose to name it in Spanish?
Interesting. Let's see if all the students are paying attention. Connor, go on quiet. Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. Gina, were you here to understand that? Let's see if we can get these answers. And the first answer that pops up on my screen as to why, instead of calling it hibiscus, why was the Hibisco Spanish chosen to name this latest creation of Ted Green fragrance? Well, I don't see nothing yet, but hold on, Ted. Don't worry. They can come in. I can see I'm scrolling back now, trying to see where did he say that? Where did he say that?
Yeah.
And some of the people who were asking for samples, if you were paying attention in class, you would have gotten it. If you were paying attention in class. Now, this must be fun when you go around. I'll put it up on the screen once we see the answer or somebody answers with the right answer. When you go around the world and you actually doing stuff like this, do you have fun while you do it? Like do you sample different cuisines? Do you go to different museums, that sort of stuff, to even know more about where you're visiting?
Oh, for sure. It's always a cultural experience for me, and I experience my culture through food. And so food is definitely a big thing when I travel. Also, I definitely like if there's hot. Next question. Also, if there's definitely hot spots, things to see, museums, heritage sites, stuff like that. If there's unique flora, I'll check that out. Or like botanical gardens or stuff. Yeah, I like that.
Right. Interesting. Now somebody's asking for the next question. Okay, Gina says, I don't know because I tuned in late. I just want one. Oh my goodness. Hold on. They originally came from Spain, just shot in the dark. Smith Campbell says they originally came from Spain, just a shot in the dark.
No.
Nope. Then I got another one that came in by WhatsApp. He chosen Hibisco as it was the most prevalent language in the Caribbean.
I'll give that one. Yes. I'll give that one.
Congratulations to that one. Yep. There you go.
I'll give that one. So it's Spanish is the most prevalent language in the Caribbean, and so it's an ode to our brothers and sisters across the region. So
Okay.
yeah,
Well, there you go. I hope it wasn't too hard, but this is the good thing. Congratulations. That was run by Monica. There we go. So I'll definitely make sure we get Monica her prize. Laugh out loud. No, man. I can hear that. I can hear that.
I can
Oh
hear
my
it too,
goodness.
actually.
No, man.
Love it.
Oh,
Love it.
Ted, I need to get me one. Well, Christmas is coming. Look, this is just the beginning. Remember, this is just the beginning. We got lots of stuff in store as we lead into the holidays, and we're definitely going to do our part with helping Ted in his launch. And this is not even one of those things. We realize where the Caymanian community has shown him a lot of love, and definitely right here on the Sabrina Speak space, we will be doing that as well. Okay. Now, I can be very selfish. Remember, I have some stuff here in the back. But they said you shouldn't give away your blessings, right? You should
You
not.
should give away your blessings.
I realize. So at the end of the day, we could have some stuff giving away, and I just love this because of how it was given to me. So at the end of it, hold on, let me just ask. Yeah, hold on. Let me answer this. Can I give then, can we do it again? Just say yes or no. Yeah, it'll be very interesting. What are we doing here? So yeah, but we have a lot. Ted, who's your family? Just curious. You see, that's why I love to start off with the who your mama and
Who
your
your
daddy
mama
is.
is.
You know, that is why I love that, because you never know. Like I said, you never know when it's going to be the first time somebody's hearing you or don't
True.
even know. But that's an outright endorsement for our people. So
Yes,
please,
100%.
let's
So
just.
I'm family to the Seymours. So Joyce and Seymour is my mother. Um, Merlin, Virgil, Cheyenne, all the Seymours, we the clan.
Yeah. And you are a native child of the soil. See, Miss Joyce, and boy, laugh out loud. It's here. Who you fa? We're getting
Ah,
it. Oh,
yeah.
see, look at this one. She late to class. You missed that opportunity to get yourself a bottle. What a mess, Connie.
Next
All right.
time.
See, well, look, we're able. See, one of the winners have given theirs back. So that means
Okay.
for all of the people, and that's a special person. This is why I personally will treat that person very nice for Christmas, because they didn't have to. Okay.
Right.
So what we're going to do, we're still going to give away the second bottle because the second one was donated back to someone on the commenting platform. Again, YouTube, Facebook. So Connie, what did you miss? Ted asked a question for all of you guys who stayed with us this evening. And for the first person who had commented and give the right answer on this platform and comment, not call in, comment here, because we did a call in already, that winner. And then we got a second one, but they've given it back. Okay. So we're going to pose another question for anyone who can answer it correctly on the platform. Yes, you didn't know. That's what you get for going out. You were probably down in orchids. Yes, see?
So,
Look at that. She said she was watering her orchids.
oh, love it. Orchid lover.
Yeah, and then her birthday is also on the 15th. So yeah, so there we go.
And mine
Okay,
the 13th. Okay.
there you go. Boy, a lot of people here in November. Yeah, there
Yeah.
we go. Let me give you
So
one.
you
Yeah,
give them the
now
question,
laugh.
Miss Al.
Yeah, okay. No, I prefer you to do it. It's your thing. I mean, come on, let's go. Let's. You are the magic behind the
Okay.
bottle.
Okay. So general question. How long has Ted Green been selling fragrances?
Nice. How long has Ted Green been selling fragrances? That's the question. Post your
Yeah.
comment, your answer on the thing. The first one that gets this answer that's posted on our screen is the winner of that. How long has Ted Green been selling fragrances?
Ah, correct. Correct.
That's
15 years.
oh, and see another one. There we go. Connie Smith Campbell said 10. So, but Connie's answer was first on the screen, and I am doing them as they come over. No, you only well, you answered it first, Connie. So and then this said, yep, she's celebrating already. So congratulations, Connie. You
No, two,
answered. Mhm, go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah. So 15 years win, but someone's saying since 2007, and so in 2007 is actually when I came up with the idea, but it took 3 years to come to market.
Oh, okay. So to actually be all right, there
Yeah, so we
we
started
go.
selling in 2010.
All right. Well, look, we are going to definitely have some more giveaways because I see where you guys are liking this. We're going to do our best to do some have more prizes because as the holidays come up, we will do some more of these. But that can show you how people are actually waiting for this.
Yeah,
They're
no,
waiting
it's
for your,
exciting.
yeah. So even if it's the travel one that you can throw our way a little bit to help you launch this, to catapult this, people are just grateful for something. And we will definitely keep it locked right here and more giveaways to come. Thank you guys for participating. So Connie got an early Christmas present, compliments of Ted Green fragrances, or not Christmas, birthday present, compliments of Ted Green. And for all of you guys who were not lucky enough, don't you worry. We're going to make sure that there are other opportunities and chances for you to get some good giveaways for this holiday season. And that is only possible with sponsorship and for your participation. I know that a lot of you have been very loyal from the day I started this platform. Ted was the second person featured on this platform. And as he continues to skyrocket, as we continue to grow in our own spaces, we've seen recognitions in the social space. And it's great to be on this journey with you, Ted. Thank you for allowing me to showcase you, to continue to highlight a lot of our Caymanians here. And just to make it clear, he's not paying for this. He's not. This is my way of giving back and sharing it with our Caymanians. So this is not something that is sponsored. Oh, Sabrina's getting kickbacks from this. No, I see our young people, as you've seen here on this space, so much of our young persons with the championships, with drilling and all of that sort of stuff. I do this from the bottom of my heart, just to be able to showcase our talent. So Ted is one of those persons that, I'm happy that I could share this platform with, and so many others, just like authors and stuff. We're going to have another Caymanian on tomorrow who's an author, taking it from a different perspective. And it is my pleasure now that I'm able to do it as we launch this space. And it's good. To me, it's rewarding. I get a sense of joy of someone giving me an opportunity, and I'm able to pay that forward in our space where Caymanians say that we feel left out. There's no space. Who's showcasing us? I tried to do it with even persons in the music industry, and that was honestly like a root canal. The few that I had who were willing to come out to showcase them, I don't know if they felt that because the space is not growing fast enough, but for whatever reason it is, I have tried to get my local musicians and talent on here to showcase them. And it's not been the easiest thing. And it's not like I was charging them. So in time, I guess they will come. You can take them to the river, but you can't make them drink. But thank you, Ted, for allowing me to be a part of your journey. And we want to thank Cayman for supporting you, like so many other local entrepreneurs in this space. And the sky's the limit for you. Now's an opportunity. What would you like to leave as your closing thoughts? And congratulations to our winners. And we will make sure that we get those gifts, those goodies to you.
Yeah. No. Thank you so much, Miss Sab, and your community for having me. It's always a pleasure to come in and like really reminisce and talk and get to know each other some more. It's really my honor to be here. It's my honor to be able to represent for us and our people. And so
Mhm.
just a big thank you to everybody. And don't forget to get your Hibisco this season.
That's right, Ted. It is always a pleasure speaking with you. And I can't believe we talked until 7 o'clock
Oh,
about
yeah.
perfume. Yeah. And we
I'm a
gave
half an
away
hour
to,
late for my own meeting.
oh, Lord. Oh, gosh. No, 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 no. We don't want to take you away from that. Anyhow, my
Monday
love,
and Thursdays.
thank
All
you.
right.
Thank you so much. All the best. And we'll make sure we'll get arranged to get those gifts for those people, for those winners. Thank you, my
No
love.
problem. Sounds
All
good.
right.
All right.
Take care.
Take
Have a
care.
good evening. Sure.
You
But there we go. That brings us to just like that. We have it. And yeah, see, Connie says, thank you. Laugh out loud. Love you. Appreciate it. She says, thanks. Is there somewhere online I can find Ted's products? Yes, he does have. You can find him on Ted Green. He's on all of the social media handles. He has online that you can purchase them as well. You can sign up to be a part of his VIP or get information on how to join his VIP club, who would get first access to this new line if you're not fortunate enough to win it already. But there's nothing wrong with buying multiple bottles. Yeah. So you can sit there, salt their oats through Sabrina. What? You can salt their oats through Sabrina. I don't understand that one, but Smith Campbell. Yeah, anyhow, we are going to have some more giveaways here on the platform as we lead into the festive season. I want to thank you all for staying with me. I want to thank and congratulate all of my winners, because just like that, yeah, our journey through this lush, fragrant world of Caribbean luxury comes to a close, as we say to do right now for this chapter of Sabrina Speaks, and to Ted as he allowed us into his space and continue to take us on his journey along with him. Again, huge thank you to Ted for sharing his vision, his artistry, and the story behind Hibisco, a scent that is as bold, vibrant, unforgettable as hibiscus flower itself. Yes, we've explored the roots behind the brand, the soul, his creation, and definitely the future of fragrance through Caribbean lens. Yes, only Ted can bring it that way. So whether you're already a fan or just discovering Ted Green fragrances, today was a reminder that the scent is more than style. It's memory, identity, and emotion. I want to thank every one of you. Oh, okay. Yes. You said you can take the water. Okay, got you. Thank you for the clarification. Well, that's true. I heard my grandmother say that, Smith Campbell, and it's so true. But I want to thank everyone who tuned in, who stayed with us and asked questions. Our thoughts and prayers go out as Michelma navigate this tragic loss that she had. For those of you who were with me at the beginning, she had an incident over in Tampa where a family member lost their life in a motor vehicle accident. So Michelma, our thoughts and prayers are going out to you. And Lisa, the person is saying you can source Ted products through you. Oh, if they can through me. Yeah, but that's not necessary. You can. I can share all the information. I'll share the links as well on this Facebook page if that makes it easier. Thank you, Lisa. Wow, that water show. Thank you, Ted and Sabrina. Love it. You're most welcome. Good evening, Lisa. You're a little late today, or you're just late commenting, but thank you for clarifying that. But yes, we did have Miss Shalma. That's why you haven't heard her this evening. She's suffered, she got some bad news just as we went live. And yeah, so we got to be there for her to help her through this time. But thank you for everyone, for your questions, for your calls in this moment. And be sure to follow Ted Green Fragrances for the latest updates, giveaways, and more sensory magic. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Until next time, stay inspired, stay fragrant. And definitely, I can't go without saying this. Keep blooming. Because She Blooms is my favorite. Let you decide for yourself which will be yours. Until tomorrow, have a safe and fabulous Thursday evening. God bless. Love you lots. That's a wrap for today's edition of Sabrina Speaks. Thank you for tuning in and for being part of the conversation. Remember, the dialogue doesn't stop here. Stay engaged, stay informed, and most importantly, stay empowered. We'll be back tomorrow at 5 p.m., same time, same place, right here on CMR TV and radio, where your voice matters and your truth is heard. Until then, K-Man, take care of yourself and each other.
That's it for today's edition of Sabrina Speaks, where your voice matters, your story counts, and your truth is always welcome. Join us weekdays from 5 until 6:30 p.m. right here on CMR TV as we dive into the topics that matter most to you. Catch the show live or on demand at cmrtv.com. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram so you never miss a moment. Until next time, stay informed, stay engaged, and always speak your truth.